FM. Listen and view on DBS Radio Facebook Live and on YouTube. Give us 90 minutes and we will strengthen the connection between Dominicans residing in the lovely Nature Isle and Dominicans residing abroad. National broadcaster DBS continues its quest to highlight and celebrate the achievements of Dominicans. We will discuss the highs and lows, the challenges and successes. Give us 90 minutes and we will solidify the connections we share with Dominicans all over. Anu celebrate achievement Dominice to all latte. Connecting the dots. Tune in this Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Come join us as we weave a tapestry and strengthen our connections. ASU Radio DBS. Welcome to Connecting the Dots, another edition. Breakfast is being served today. We have different sides, so we're going to have a good time. I tell you, today we're going to have fun. We're going to have a very interesting discussion, and I really look forward to this. We'll have good food as well, good conversation. You know, there's a welcome mat at the door. Simply wipe your feet and just take your seats. So we're ready. Nigel Francis drank too much shodo this morning, so he's a little sleepy. Let me see if he can wake up. Nigel Francis, wake up. Come on, where are you, Nigel?
What's up? Let me see if I'm here. I think I'm here.
Where's Nigel?
Yes, I'm up.
Nigel's sticking on me there, right?
Well, I was saying the same thing about you.
Okay, I'm fine. How you doing, Nigel?
You good?
You're up. All right. I was saying that you drank too much of the shodo.
Well, I had a little bit too much, but I think I'm good for now. So I am ready to rock and roll. It's another beautiful Saturday morning.
Okay, well, that's nice. Nigel,
once it's Saturday, we know we're good. Hey, I lose you. Okay, it seems like I've lost her for a little bit. But of course, welcome to Connecting the Dots. Are you hearing me now?
All right. I'm getting a note saying like...
What happened to you this morning? You were part of the descent of the Boeing Starliner last night, because you seem to be going in and out. So maybe
I was part of the what?
The Starliner that came last night. You know, the ship that returned to Earth from orbit.
Well, Nigel, let me tell you something. I had a feeling, yeah, I suspect something not working. But you hear me, Nigel?
I'm hearing you.
You're hearing me?
Sticking now and then, but I'm hearing you.
Okay.
I'm hearing you now without any problems.
Okay, so the person not trying to set
I mean, I've seen you twice. They give me double of you, but...
Oh, yeah? Yes, I'm seeing myself. Okay, I'm seeing myself once.
Yes, I'm seeing you once and then I'm seeing you twice. So I'll take double. That's okay. Yeah, okay. You know?
Yeah. All right, but let's move on. I mean, we have business to take care of.
We do.
And let's hope that everything will be okay in terms of our connectivity. We don't want any issues today.
No, today we're running smooth and easy.
So last week we missed because we had the funeral for Sherwin Green Brown, and DBS of course had to carry that live. So
yes,
we missed
so unfortunately, yes, you know. Well, we don't say unfortunately, it was for a good cause, because we don't ever want to miss connecting the dots on a Saturday, but we had to because of that situation. Yes. So it was for good reason.
At times, obviously, we'll miss. So if like Christmas Day falls on a Saturday, we could take the day off. When we have the market day for difference, we'll miss that day, and other, pertinent things that we have to carry live, DBS Radio. But it's always a pleasure to come on every Saturday at 9:30, for connecting the dots.
It is.
So Nigel, busy week. Booyah was booyah in.
Well,
at
I
the
think
awards
boy,
ceremony.
I think eventually we'll have that discussion in terms of booyah, soca, and what is what and what is
Yes,
not, and
yes,
the rest
yes.
of it.
Man, Nigel,
But it's
that is the
Caribbean
conversation we need
music,
to have.
it's Caribbean music, and I was happy to see Caribbean music taking center stage. So that's the important part of it. It's always nice. We want to hold on to what's ours because it's important to do that.
Sure.
But once the Caribbean is represented, I feel good.
Yeah, that's it. So we will discuss that another time. But volleyball as well, Nigel. Beach volleyball, Dominica did well.
Did very well, capturing that title, right? Capturing the title. Yes. So, yes. Congrats to the guys. To Mingo and to the other guys. What else happened? Of course, Thea had
Kavem Hodge. I'm not sure what happened yesterday because something was planned for him, a return, grand celebration.
There was supposed to have been a big welcome reception at the Kalinago territory for him. Of course, for those who don't know, Kavem Hodge being, West Indies player from the Kalinago territory. He returned home yesterday and there was supposed to have been a big welcome celebration for him.
Yeah.
Up there.
So I'm not sure how that went, but we'll find out.
We will. I'm pretty sure somebody will let us know.
Yes. Of course, somebody will say it on the book on the tube. Yeah.
Yes.
I think also Nigel Stefan Pascal, I think he something to do with a new franchise contract, something like that.
Yes. And he's moving in the right direction. So let me say a very special good morning to Benno and his mom and to what Stefan Pascal is doing. He's heading towards, West Indies representation. So I'm happy for that as well,
Yeah.
So, definitely. Congrats to all the Dominicans who continue to make us proud and make us feel worthy of being called Dominican.
Boy, Nigeria, I tell you. Congratulations. I know a lot happened.
You see, I tell you one thing about our city family, they're on top of things,
So okay, Cheryl, so somebody's...
Thank you very much, Cheryl, for the information. The celebration for Kevin is today at 3 p.m. Yes, today at 3 p.m.
All right, okay.
So it's today at 3 p.m. Thank you, Cheryl.
Yes. So we'll be having him soon. We had to have him, a long time, but we'll make it happen. Sometimes it's not easy. Yes, we'll connect. But Nigeria, I'm really looking forward to today's discussion. It's our hope that today's program will not only strengthen the ties that bind us as a people, as Mundomik, but key takeaways we can take from today's discussion, should also be like the importance of higher education. So I'm hoping, so we want to touch on that, the achievements of Dominicans at the Miami-Dade College, the importance of cultural integration. I really want to touch on that. The importance of cultural integration in education. How do we marry the two, And we will also sing the praises of Dominicans who continue to perform well. So I really look forward
to that great discussion. Look at how we're able to sustain that relationship between Miami-Dade College and future students, whether there is a certain path they can take and what might be the best path forward. And so we definitely will look at all that and more. Let me say a very special good morning, of course, to all those who are already logged on and those who are coming on. Alvin Thomas, you early, no detention. So good morning to you, Alvin. Alvin says early this morning. So Good morning, Alvin. Good morning, sisters. Good morning to Winnie, who is back. Ali Mitchell, good morning. Oh, you can say good morning to Dr. Carbon already. He haven't come on yet. You're too quick.
I like that.
But good morning to everybody that's logging on and connecting the dots with us this Saturday. Of course, every Saturday at 9:30, connect with us, right?
Yeah, beautiful. Man. So we're not going to talk too much today because we have a full house.
Today is Miami-Dade College turn and your connection with us.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Definitely so.
So we big up people on Facebook already. Did we do that?
Yes, we were just bigging up all of them who always join very early so that they don't.
Is he on already, Nigel? Is he on?
He's on.
Okay. All right.
Yes, he came on early and he reminded us that school resumes. I think next week school resumes, right?
Well, yes, next week.
Not next
Monday.
week. Okay,
so Monday is next week. Yeah.
Yes. So from Monday, our students go back to school in Dominica. So which is why we thought that would be nice to have this education topic this Saturday and possible next Saturday as well. We want to focus on education this month. As our students return to school from the summer break. I think it's always the hardest for teachers, man, or lecturers and everything else. The first week of school. after the summer break. Nobody wants to be there.
You had your days as a teacher, having to return to school, right?
I remember those days. Nobody wants to be in the classroom. Even me, I wanted to be there. But I mean, it's that transition is always a difficult transition, and I'm sure your kids and them, they probably drive you crazy over the last week. They don't want to go back to on Monday.
No, and it's getting worse every year. You know, children just don't really want to go back to school.
Yes.
I don't know. That's maybe a concern.
I'm wondering, maybe that's something we can have, the discussion with our guys as well, and our lady there. Why is it that students don't want to go back to school? I thought education is a place, school is a place that you want to go. You look forward to returning. Yeah. But unfortunately not. So must be something schools are not doing right.
We'll have to have a discussion on that, Nigel. Seriously.
Yeah, maybe the schools are doing something right. Nobody wants to go back.
So much has changed. There was a time as well, though, when they were at home, the children were at home, it would just open the fridge, ask what's there to eat and things like that. But now, because they have the device, it's wow, Nigel. It's even a headache because sometimes I tell them to get up and get something to eat.
I think, but at some point, I think we have to get to the point where we recognize social media is here to stay. The gadgets are here to stay.
It is.
We have to find a way now of integrating it and finding ways to use it in such a positive way. And I'm sure our guests and them have their own thoughts on that too. So
yeah.
So it's going to be a wonderful discussion. It's going to be a wonderful discussion.
Yes. So let me say good morning to everybody. Our guests,
maybe for the guests who've never joined Connecting the Dots before.
Say it again, Nigel. I did not hear that.
No, I was just saying for the guests that we're going to be introducing who may not have been part of Connecting the Dots before. It's a very conversational vibes. We don't try to put you into an interview where you have to figure it out, all right? So it's a nice conversation where we connect, we share, and we discuss.
Oh, yes.
All righty. So we ready to roll with them?
Yes. So yes, man. Our guests hail from Whitaker, from Maho, from Salisbury, from Bakers as well. I went in alphabetical order here because I don't want trouble. Because next thing you put one, so I don't want any trouble. So that's why I went in alphabetical order. But one of the guests as well, Nigel, is the uncle of the top CXC performer in Dominica. Results came out this week. The Carbon. So we'll talk about that as well.
And we will be having as one of our guests at some point, right? We're trying to work that out.
Yes. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So as we said, the new school year is on. A lot of students traveled as well to further their education. But we know about online studies, online degrees, exciting time. So let's connect, Nigel. Are you ready?
Yes, we are ready to connect. Let's go.
So what we will
go ahead.
So we'll give our guests the opportunity to introduce themselves.
Yes.
We will not do the usual where we go through, everything.
No.
But it will be fun. It will be good to find out where they are from, what community they hail from. So I want to start with that.
It's always good because that's where the foundation was laid, I believe.
Of course.
So let's move over to Miami-Dade College. And for those who don't know, the fact we say Miami-Dade College obviously is in Miami. But welcome to Connecting the Dots. Dr. Carbon, Andrew Carbon, Miguel. You know what? I'm not going to say the names. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. So I'm going to start with, I think we should always give beauty first, and ladies should go first. Although they might tell me that's a little gender bias right there. So I'm going to go over and start with Miguel. Maybe Miguel should be the one to start off the introductions. Hey, good morning to you, Miguel. Welcome to Connecting the Dots.
Thank you, Nigel. Thank you, Ivona, and Miguel Murphy, representing the village of Maho. Maho has been a lot in the media lately, so I just want to add to, our celebrations and achievements as someone who grew up there in the community and, wanting to continue to remain in touch. But formally, I serve as the college's Executive Director of Student Engagement and Community Partnerships and Enrollment. And so I've been with the institution for well over 2 decades. My entire adult life has been here, seen a lot, spent some time at our North Campus. We have 8 campuses. We have over 100,000 students, and seen the growth of our Caribbean student population. Have been blessed to connect with our Dominicans here at Miami-Dade College, in the South Florida community, in the state of Florida, etc. So I can't wait to get into some of those 2 decades here at Miami-Dade College and, you know, in South Florida and in the United States, and just really, you know, having that dual connection of, you know, being in the United States and also being active and present on the island of Dominica. So who's next?
You pass it on to whoever wants to go.
Yes, pass it on.
So Devon.
So it's going to be kind of hard to follow up 2 decades of experience in academia. But my name is Devon Vidal. My mom's from Peter 7 Foster Sham. My dad's from Salisbury. Kind of grew up between both. Attended Dominican Grammar School from my high school years, and then did a year at Dominican State College. Then I actually came to this institution, Miami-Dade College. Did my 2-year degree there, and then my 4-year degree. They actually had introduced the 4-year right when I finished my 2-year. Since then, I've always resided in Miami since I came up to the US. I've tried my hand at entrepreneurship, laundry list of business, not 20 years, but about 10 years in now. And now I'm the founder of a company called Sneaky Clean. We're a laundry and sneaker care service and mobile app here in Miami. So short and sweet, on to the next gentleman over here, Mr. Arvin.
All right, good morning. Good morning, Nigel. Good morning, Ivona. Good morning, Dominica. Like I always like humor. So I said I'm the one and only Andrew Carbon. You cannot be duplicated. I am the only person who can make a carbon copy. Nobody else can. Well, of course, Jeff can. I am from Buedica, the mighty Buedica. And when we were doing Miguel, you need to say I am from Buedica, because Buedica is the home of Stefan Pascal. It is the home of the Pascals, Beno, and his wife, Maria, is from Dade. And then recently we had Sherin. Let me big off my Sherin for the wonderful work that she has done with CXC. And we have the 10-time King dies. So you know, just highlighting, yes, Buedica being small, but absolutely mighty in terms of Dominica. From a personal
Dr. Carbon understood his assignment, right?
Yes, you understand. And as you pause in there before you go to the other side of it, Carbon, I'm not sure our guests are saying that our viewers are saying they can see you guys, they can hear, but they're not able to see. So I'm not sure if it's on our end or if it's on their end. So because we can see them on the link here, but they're not seeing them live on the YouTube and the Facebook. So let's see how we get that rectified. It might be from our end, so our tech will work on that. In the meantime, we can continue. So one thing, they just keep us honest on that book, you know. They just keep us honest. They just everything they can. Jocam is good to know you're on early this morning as well, Jocam. So, you know, no detention for you. So that's a good thing, Jocam. No detention for you as well. Tina Bell Roman, good morning to you. Thanks for logging in. Josephine John West, good morning. Yes, Alvin, we know we're not seeing the guests, so we'll be working on that. So we'll have that sorted out for you in a few. Who else is on? Matthew Joseph, good morning to you. Here's a shilling for always nice to have you logged on. We appreciate it. Joe Gam say you like my haircut. Auntie Ivan's you too. So good morning, and let's see. I think we might have it sorted out, but of course we will continue in the meantime, right, Ivans? You know, we always make sure the connection happens. So we will see on whose end and what end, and if it is, we still move on with our wonderful discussion. So yes, Carbon, you may continue.
Yes. So sorry for the picture quality. As I was saying, at Miami-Dade College, I am the dean of students. But even before that, I went to like Devon. I went to Dominican Grammar School. I went to.
Say it again, Dr. Carbon.
No, don't say it. Don't say
sorry.
it.
Say the school you went to again.
Don't say it.
For the school. Or the best, man, Dominican Grammar School.
Do not say that. Thank you.
You have to repeat for emphasis.
Alvin in trouble this morning. We have 2 Dominican Grammar School students, but don't worry. Miguel and I will take care of that.
Yeah, but Nigel, we'll give you a little pass because we know you used to be teaching at grammar school. So by association, you can be associated with grammar school.
Yeah. yes.
Yeah, and then I went to Sifokol.
I'm listening to Dr. Carbon, and Dr. Carbon is.
We lost you, Ivona.
We are on, Nigel?
Yeah, well, yes, you can go now. We kind of lost you for a while.
Okay, you're hearing me now?
Thing.
Apparently, my internet connection is not stable.
And the funny thing is that we were seeing, Miguel and Dr. Carbon, we were seeing them on the link. Now we are not seeing them on our Zoom link, but we are hearing them. So
wow, I don't know what's happening.
Them. So we'll get it sorted out. We'll get it sorted out. In a situation like this, of course, hearing them is a lot more important than seeing them because they have so much to say. So, but we'll try to get the technical thing sorted out. So, originally we were seeing you guys on the Zoom link, but now we're not seeing you on the Zoom link. So we're not seeing you on the Zoom, and we're not seeing you on the live either. So
yeah, we'll take care of it in a while. For some reason, we were logged on, and now it's
that's okay. That's okay. So let's continue.
Probably because we did not. Nigel, probably because we did not start with our prayer. Something is just not.
Yes. The devil want to set traps for us, but we're not going to fall.
For me, myself, my internet connection is unstable.
Yes, but we won't fall for those traps.
But I was just saying though, Nigel, listening to, Nigel, you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Oh, okay. No, I was just saying, I'm just listening to Dr. Carbon, and Dr. Carbon's brother, Jefferson Carbon, was the accountant at DBS Radio for many, many years, and the song so
alike,
and just the way he started, it was like listening to Jefferson Carbon. We don't started and talk about Boetica. I just wanted to put this.
We're not hearing you, Ivona.
Yes, so Ivona seems to be going in and out.
Nigel,
one of those days.
Okay.
But continue.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so I think Ivona saying that I kind of sound like Jeff, and that's why I began by saying that we are carbon. We can make carbon copies, and they can become very close to the original. So that's why my brother's probably sounding like me. Yes, so I went to, let's just go back here. I went to C4Call, then I came to for those of you who know me in Dominica, I used to be a teacher first at the Castlebrooks Government School, and then I started working in adult education, and then at the Public Service Union. And I am not looking, but I know Alvin Thomas has to be on, because every Saturday I look at the program and Alvin Thomas is always on. And I'm saying Alvin Thomas, and let me big him up, because Alvin was one of my bosses when I used to work in Dominica. When I used to work in the Public Service Union, Alvin was my bosses, and a lot of what I have learned when it comes to things like industrial relations that I learned through Alvin Thomas. So up to you, Mr. Thomas. Then I moved to the US in 2002. My first job was at Miami-Dade College. I studied as a tutor. And then I moved on to work in the testing department, went to admissions and registration, and eventually become the director of advisement, then the director of admissions. And currently I serve as the dean of students at Miami-Dade College West Campus. It's our second smallest campus currently as of today, with a student population of 5,401 students. So that's where we are now, and I'm looking forward to the conversation that we will have today. Thank you.
Wonderful. We appreciate that, and you pass it back on now to the only lady.
Yes, hello. My name is Belinda Seraphin. Thank you for having us. I was born and raised in Miami, but my parents is from the north side of Dominica, Pebush. I just graduated with my Associates of Arts in April, and I'm taking classes for my bachelor's degree. And I want to become a doctor. So I'm doing classes, studying to become a doctor.
Beautiful. And that's Belinda Seraphin. Yes. We'll be finding out some more about Belinda as well. So we kind of went around the table in terms of, everybody in the introduction, Miguel, Devon, Dr. Carbon, Andrew, and of course, Belinda. So I'm gonna continue with you, Belinda, in terms of what you're doing currently. Want to be a doctor, as you mentioned, and currently finishing up your degree there. What kind of got you interested in that in the field of medicine?
Because I saw my parents, I saw my mom specifically, her love for medicine, and how she liked to help people, and when I used to go to the hospital in and out, and I see how my doctors and nurses helped me, it provided more like sympathy, empathy, patience, and the mentorship from the doctors that I have in the current hospital, and just want to heal people.
Okay, excellent. All right, so I think we're gonna do a little technical thing there. So I think the team at Miami-Dade College, I think you're gonna log out quickly and try to log back in if I got the information correctly. So while they're doing that, of course, this is Connecting the Dots here on DBS Radio. We're here every Saturday, 9:30 to 11. I've won on myself. We host this program to make sure we can connect to our Dominicans throughout the diaspora and, of course, in Dominica as well. Today we have a little technical thing, but that does never stop us. We always keep moving on. You know, we always make sure we keep the connection going no matter what. That has to happen. So we appreciate that. And we appreciate our guests and them trying to get things sorted out on their end. We're trying to get it sorted on our end as well. But I mean, I was just interested in the terms of the fact that they, Belinda wants to pursue medicine. She wasn't born in Dominica, but identifies with the whole Dominican because her parents are Dominicans and she sees herself having that connection still. And we have a lot of, those who are not born in Dominica, but make sure they're still Dominican. And also that I love about our people. That connection always remains regardless, So we appreciate that. I'm not sure if they're back with us yet, but we'll figure it out.
You're back, Nigel?
Well, I think they're trying to figure it out.
Okay, but you hearing me, Nigel?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
I can't. But I hear you. I feel like disconnected somewhat because I just keep seeing on my screen unstable internet connection, and so I'm just trying to see if I can, listen. I miss a lot. I miss a lot from what they have said. But we'll see how it goes. You can take over for me. I just sit there and smile at times.
A partnership. It's a partnership, so we make it happen.
Yes, yeah. So I'm not hearing a lot of what they're saying because of the issue I have with internet connection today. But we'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Yes, we'll make it happen. No, Devon was just mentioning, of course, he's part from, Forceja and Peter Savan and Salisbury connection there. So today we have a real Dominican connection. We have Mao, Britica, Peter Savan, Forceja, Salisbury, Mao. It's a real connection happening here, so we appreciate that.
Yeah.
And why they try to get this stuff sorted out. Of course, good morning to you, Rosalind Sevre. She's listening now from New York, back in New York. Leoma Joseph, good morning to you as well. Miranda Esprit, listening from Antigua, good morning to you. Appreciate the connection. Anthony Edwards says that he went to school with Devon. Good vibes, brother. Nice to have that connection with you. Leoma Joseph says, Mr. Carbon left our community and migrated. I was a young child at the time, but I can still boast the hearing of his intelligence. So we appreciate that from you as well, Kid Carbon listening in from Florida. Appreciate that. Mabel Charles, good morning to them as well. So, connection is happening and our discussion will continue on the education. For those of you who are having kids going back to school, maybe this weekend is going to be what? The kind of a anxiety weekend for both kids and parents. So how are you coping with yours? Okay, I think I'm going in and out again. That's okay. Let's see. Alvin Thomas says, I am so moved with emotions listening to Dr. Carbon, but I want to make sure I heard that too when Dr. Carbon is back. So he can hear how his ex-manager also appreciates the sentiments being shared. You hear me okay? Are we good?
I'm hearing you in and out, so I'm hearing some of the things that you're saying.
Okay.
I like to listen and I like to be engaged, but it's all right. I'm gonna see what I can. I may sound like a fool at times, and I may ask a question that has already been answered. But I hope you, Nigel, will understand. Because when you miss a lot.
Yes. Sometimes when you don't have that connection, right? You.
Nigel, we're temporarily.
It happens.
And I'm not sure what is happening.
It's all good. Like we said, sometimes You know what? Hold on a second. Yeah, you know what? Let me do this. Let me do. Oh, okay. I lose the person. So let's see. I lost the person. But you know what I mean? Let's see. I think okay. I'm saying let's see because we have a few messages coming through, and I wanted to make sure that I could see what the guys are saying here. Okay. So let's go. Okay. All right. So I can see Miguel now. That's no problem. We have Miguel live. You can see him on the video, and I'm thinking, let's see if we can get him on the audio as well. Can you hear me, Miguel?
I can. So we're
okay, and I can hear you, and I can see you.
Excellent. So we're rebooting our technology, and we can keep going until
such time. All right, wonderful. So let's talk about Miguel and what you do over the time you did. But you said it's been like a 20-year, a couple of decades there at Miami-Dade College. What have you seen, Miguel, in terms of the growth of both Dominican and Caribbean students over the years you've been there?
Yeah. So, in those 20 years for me, and, I know Dr. Carbon and Devon mentioned, their high schools, Dominica Grammar School. I hail from the St. Mary's Academy.
Thank you.
Class of 1998. And, upon graduation, I transitioned here to the United States and also, started my journey at Miami-Dade College. And at the time, we had less than a handful of Dominicans, so to speak. I could identify with my immediate family, but when you enter a space of higher education, it's often difficult to, find, right, your brothers and sisters of the island. And so, through organizations like, at the time, the International Students Association, the Caribbean Students Association. And I want to say, fortunately, at the time, there was an active Dominican association here in South Florida.
Yeah, I guess because they're now logging on with the other technology.
Yes.
For them, so we go, okay, perfect. Continue.
And so
okay, so you may either have to go with the rest of the crew.
Yes.
All right. So you're trying to get it sorted out.
So I believe I'm back on.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah, and so fortunately there was a Dominican association which I believe allowed for some of the established connections right in our community, and it gave me friendships of Dominicans who had been here in South Florida, in Miami, for some time, and so that sort of built the network over time. That built the network over time and afforded me the ability to really realize who were at the college, invite the Dominican community into the college. Because as Dr. Carbon himself, he started as a tutor. I started as a tutor as well, a network technician. I've had the good fortune of working in admissions, and Dr. Carbon being my immediate supervisor, both in the admissions office at the college and also in the advisement office, where I spent some 10 years. For me, that was the height of just being connected to the student community, to the student body. There I was able to, as an advisor, really kind of meet students from all walks of life. And from time to time, a Dominican student would emerge, and and we would maintain that connection over the years. And alongside just the roles that I've held here at Miami-Dade College, I've also served as the advisor for the Caribbean Students Association. So that is currently in its 20th year here at Miami-Dade College, founded Tropical Beat actually by a Dominican, Dr. Emilia Barron, who's a faculty member here at Miami-Dade. So our community has grown over time. We've seen students, realize their full potential, as students into professionals. Those 20 years in my 20 years.
Nigel, I may have missed it because, as I said, because of my connection, I did not get Michael Murphy. Your Murphy on what side? What Murphy family are you related to?
Yes, you shared it. So
you may have said it, but I as I said, I miss a lot.
Yes. So no, I said you said it in terms of Michael Murphy. So Michael Murphy is my dad.
Okay.
Resides on
Former
island.
guest.
Yes, and my brother, Naren Murphy Trenson, resides on island as well. So my ties currently are through my dad, Michael Murphy, and my brother Trendsetter.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So you get the connection now, right?
Yes. As I told you, I miss it a lot, but
that's okay. That's okay. I think you're back. I think right now you're back on track.
I'm back. Okay.
Yes,
all right.
Let's
see how it goes.
The internet seems to have fixed properly for you now.
So everything is okay with all our guests now?
Well, we're trying to get the rest of the guests now. I think Miguel said they're trying to work out to log back in, but Miguel is here just in the meantime, but they're trying to get sorted out. Miguel, I wanted to ask you because something that we mentioned earlier in terms of students and their in quote reluctance to return to school when that season begins, when that new term begins. As someone who is involved heavily in student engagement, as the executive director and responsibility for that as well, what do you think needs to be done to have students more engaged in that process of wanting to be there and wanting to continue the education?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So my role evolved over the years, right? And now it's executive director of student engagement, community partnerships. But I've served, like I said, in admissions, in advisement as a club advisor, and I fused the two of club advising and academic advising. I also teach.
You have done everything, Michael.
Yes, and
your bio says a lot, like an all-rounder. And if I were to bring in that cultural consciousness where cricket is concerned, I would say that you're a good batsman, a good fielder, a good bowler as well.
All wrong.
All-rounder.
So I have a lived experience at the college and also in the community. I formerly served as a trustee member on Miami-Dade County's Citizens Independent Transportation Trust, which oversees the half-penny sales tax that goes towards transit infrastructure improvement. And that's an example, right, of just community engagement. I've served on the community relations board that brings together and really quell any tension that might arise in the community. So, mentorship, I think, is key. So those students during the summer, if there's some level of connection, I think that is preserved, right, with the institutions or folks within the institutions that students can connect with and just keep a little touch point with them. And, a lot of times, we focus on academics, academic excellence. We were just talking about that here amongst ourselves, but outside the classroom connections play a big role, I think, in keeping students engaged. A lot of students reach out to me outside of the channels of the office. When it comes to connections, we mentioned social media. Students are, I'm very big on social media and leveraging platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, even WhatsApp stories to keep connected to our students, whether it's in the formal institutional realm of having a formal platform that they're connected to, or just having mine that they connect to and they keep up with me. So I'm not emailing students per se. as much as they're seeing what I'm posting. So students know, for example, that I am on Connecting the Dots today at the college, and they're logged in and tuned in. Hello to those of you who are. But it's just one way of remaining connected outside the norm of an email. So I would say just the mentorship and having, I would say, institutional citizens, like folks who are willing to, you know, go beyond the call of just being a teacher, but being able to connect with the students outside of the boundaries.
Christian.
Right.
In terms of Miguel, so yes, that's interesting. The fact of that mentorship, which I think sometimes might be lacking, or might not, well, lacking, I guess, in our islands. I don't think mentorship has been something that we've promoted as much as we could. You know, we don't really have mentors as such within the school system, and it's something I know we're definitely working on to get there. What about the relationship between the community? Because I always say that it takes a village, right? And oftentimes you find that the village is the one that prepares and lays the foundation for that eventual development of the student. So in terms of the community and the relationship and the connection that's needed, what are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, so, you know, organizations in, and I'll use concrete examples here in Miami. So in Miami-Dade County, we have, you know, just about close to 3 million residents. So there, and in the county, there's advisory boards. And so the Community Relations Board is one of them, but really just connecting with organizations and organization leaders, right? To keep them at the center of what is happening within the schools, right? Every day I get an invitation from a community partner to either speak to students or they're inviting us out tonight, for example, taking 25 students to see Supreme Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. That comes from a community partner. And so identifying students within, you know, your institution to be able to take advantage of those opportunities in community. Now, you know, even from the state college standpoint, say the Dominican State College, you may have students pursuing business. You know, perhaps a connection can be forged with a business, Jolly's Pharmacy. I'm just using some of the institutions, right, where they can do maybe volunteer hours, an internship of some sort, right? And so helping students to make those connections as early as possible with organizations in the community through, you know, volunteerism, but here at Miami-Dade College, we call it sort of change making, right? Where you embody a certain set of attributes of giving back or reflecting on, you know, your experiences that you're having at the institution and wanting to make a difference in your
and Miguel, just check your phone very quickly. The group chat on Connecting the Dots. I think they want you to email some information to them there. I don't know, a lot of technology is happening in the back. Things. So they want you to email that something, Miguel, to Dr. Carbon's email or something. So that's being taken care of so they can set up in the different. But interesting that last point I want about like places like, do they have and hey, don't get me if you guys, because when I left home in Dominica we didn't have that. So if it's going on now, that's fine. Do they have like for the summer you have the like students can work like internships?
Oh yes, that's
still ongoing now.
Yes, it's ongoing. It has been around for years, Nigel, and it continues. A lot of establishments, a lot of business places welcome students from secondary school, from the college as well, you know, as interns at the business places. So that continues. I know that is very important as well because it helps students, you know, develop themselves and get ready for the job market and get ready for college as well. But I was just listening to Michael Murphy and he was saying how much he's involved in helping the students.
She like to call you Michael, right, Miguel?
That's fine, yes.
Miguel, oh my goodness.
Okay.
Michael Murphy and I, we have a nice school. Yeah, but Murphy, so I was listening to you and you were talking about how you help students a lot. I'm sure as well you assist them sort of navigate the challenges of college life, apart from, of course, what you normally do with them.
Yeah. So I'll give an example. So in my capacity, I have direct oversight over one of our signature programs, the Rising Scholars Program, established about 3 years ago. Belinda in the room is a member of that program. And that program has close to now 1,000 students. You know, 60% of the first group, we inducted 125 in the first group. 60% have graduated in a 3-year timeline. In the second cohort, we inducted 200, the third 200, a few weeks ago, another 200. And so Belinda is part of cohort 2. She graduated in 2 years. And so I use her as an example of supports. We have a success team attributed to that program. So they have an academic advisor, a financial aid advisor, an admissions advisor, someone in single stop, which is, you know, not because you're single, but it's a holistic support area that gives you access to, like,
the third one. There was a third one.
Mental health counseling, for example, and also really, you know, encouraging students to just leverage all the opportunities that are available to them. So there's Miguel Murphy, who oversees this program, but the program has a director, and the director has a success team. But outside of that, just being available and accessible, I think, to students whenever there's a concern of any nature. And I think there's a personable sort of component where students feel comfortable in reaching out. So whether it's they're struggling with classes or life issues, we have mental health counseling.
You got upstairs already? You got
Students can take advantage of.
Okay, check that. I'll be faster than that.
So I get it that Dr. Carbon is on now?
Yes. Looks like Dr. Carbon's on.
Is he on? Let's just see. Dr. Carbon, are you hearing us? I guess we have some.
Yeah, continue talking to Miguel. I'm just working on another.
Okay. All right, Dr. Carbon. Okay, no problem.
Okay, yes. Miguel is representing well in the meantime.
But Miguel, let me ask you though, do you have a lot of Dominicans at the college?
So I would say it's a handful. So from a professional, and Belinda's gonna join me here, and then Dr. Carbon and Devon should be together. So that should help us out here. So we have a handful of Dominicans at the college. So Dr. Carbon, Devon, who works in our idea center, and I don't want to steal his thunder. And when we have students through our orientation process, through the Caribbean Students Association, those students identify.
Belinda, welcome back.
Yes.
Oh yes, Belinda has joined. It's nice to have Belinda.
Yes.
Belinda, I read that you have not only excelled in your studies, but you have taken on the role of a community advocate, and that you have a powerful narrative that speaks of ambition and dedication. Tell us a little about your involvement as a student at the Miami-Dade College and how you navigate college life. Let us get a feel from you how you do that.
Well, I engage myself. Miguel will always send me emails for events to go to, and I choose to go to events like the criminal justice event, the Supreme Court event, some events that are not even pertaining to my major. I'll still go to be more educated about it. School life and how to navigate it. There's times I'll just take like time for my studies, and there's time that I would just go to events, engage, learn more about the event because every event is a learning opportunity. So when I go to events, most events, I learn something new every day.
Beautiful. I like that. I like that. So, Belinda, I mean, I know your parents are Dominicans. Have you visited Dominica many times, or have you not visited Dominica?
I visited Dominica many times.
Many times. I like that.
And you know, not to steal Belinda's thunder, but through the connection, you know, the cultural connection, heritage connection that we have, her visits to my office, and she attends primarily the North Campus. My office is situated in downtown Miami, and you know, most of our conversations are typically around when are you going back, you know. And which sites have you visited and such, and you know, I applaud her, you know, I applaud you, Belinda, because we can easily, in the fast-paced life of, you know, Miami and South Florida and the American life, forget where we're from, but she sort of maintains or makes an effort to maintain those connections, and even ask me about my own Dominican firsthand story, being someone who was born here in the United States and is connected.
How has in terms of has it been difficult for you in terms of the fact that you are American, of course, in that sense, but you're also Dominican? Have you found yourself in any situations where you have to be kind of struggling between the both?
Not necessarily, because most of the times I refer myself as a Dominican. So I don't I know I was born and raised in America, but I refer myself as a Dominican.
Nice.
If someone asks me where are you from, I always say I'm from Dominica.
I love that because it's similar with my daughter, who was born here, of course. She's currently at FIU, doing medicine as well. But she always identifies herself as Dominican, and we have she have no choice anyways. But it's always interesting when you find, you know, students who are of Dominican parentage but born here and trying to identify with the culture and everything else. So you like Bouyon music?
Do you like Bouyon music?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And you can dance a little ballet, and you like some of the Creole foods and stuff. And yes, okay, good. I'm just trying to make sure the culture is kept as well. In terms of Miguel, I mean, the Dominican student population is probably, I guess, small at Miami-Dade College. What can we do to increase that? Is there anything that we can do?
Yes, I would say, you know, there may be Dominican students that are at the college. Hopefully someone knows that they do attend Miami-Dade College, but we also have Dominicans that attend, you know, other local institutions like Florida International University, St. Thomas University, University of Miami, Nova, which is just a county away Broward College, for example. You may have members of the Dominican community that, you know, may have a son or daughter in high school right now. Miami-Dade College is a great choice. We have a number of scholarship opportunities, including, you know, the Rising Scholars Program, Presidential Scholars, the Honors College, American Dream Scholars. We just launched a new program, Future Ready. So there are a number of opportunities for Dominican students here, you know, Dominican American students to sort of consider the college, but also connect with the Dominicans that are here.
By the way, is Devon on?
Devon?
Yes, I see
Devon. You can hear us? Right. Okay.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? How are you?
Pretty good. It's nice to have you back on, Devon. Past students of the Dominican Grammar School, right?
But you don't have to mention that.
Nigel,
I mean, it's not her fault. It's the best school on the island.
Okay, tell Nigel that again. Yes. But tell us about your Miami-Dade College experience, Devon. And I have a strong feeling that your story about, is it Squeaky Clean?
Sneaky clean. Yeah.
Yes, yes, right. It's near. I'm sure that story will empower many. But give us your college experience, having come from the Dominican Grammar School, having gone to Miami, and at the college. Tell us how it is for you.
I just wanted to mention the Dominican Grammar School one more time, Nigel.
Oh no!
Thank you, Devon.
Alvin, we're in trouble today.
Miami College was an excellent institution. So I came here. I came up into the US in 2009. Started Dade in 2010. The following spring semester. First, I did full time. Then I went to part time. The school is very flexible when it comes to the class schedule. Anything from day to night to weekend classes, or a combination of however you want. One of the great things I liked about here is how easy it was to transfer my grades or my credits from college in Dominica up here. Miguel and Dr. Carmen obviously have more information about that, but it wasn't. I hear a lot of my friends who go to other universities and schools up here deal with a lot of challenges because, when you're from Dominica in the US, the first thing you get asked is, are you from Santo Domingo? So being in a position where your high school is recognized and your credits are accepted, it makes it a lot easier for the transition. Then I believe I started after a year or two after Miguel funded Tropical Beat. So the cultural acclimation was very, very easy. Just for example, on the first day of registration for me here, I'm standing in line and I look behind me and I see somebody I went to high school with, Mario Ricketts.
Oh.
So there, Miami-Dade College always, but through the years I was here, there was always a small Dominican footprint. So that made it easier. But then Tropical Beat, which was an extended Caribbean kind of club or organization, where the weekly meetings allow us to meet up with other people who are like us or more similar with us in culture than the average American, and banding together, to hang out, to get to know people, to network, to help through the transition of coming from Dominica to the US. It made it very, very easy and very simple. So Miguel, kudos to you for that. Tropical Beat was an amazing organization and definitely played a key role in the transition here. The institution of Miami-Dade continues to be so great. So much to the point that I myself have decided, I came back about 2 years ago and I started volunteering here as the entrepreneur in resident to help students, not just Caribbean students, but all types of students who are considering entering the world of business and starting their own business. I work with the organization at one of the campuses to help with helping build that next batch of students into the workforce.
Interesting.
Dr.
Carbon is on now as well?
Yes. Dr. Carbon is on with us now as well.
Okay, so we're okay now. Dr. Carbon, tell us, where does your expertise lie, Dr. Carbon?
Well, the only thing I know in all of my life is education. From the time I left grammar school, I started to be a teacher at the Castro Government School. Then I left teaching. I went to adult education. Then I went into trade union again as a training officer, and then came to Miami-Dade College, where I have made the transition to higher education. So anything education from elementary to higher ed, well, more now higher ed. That's all I know. Although I had a period like about 10 years I was doing concurrently, where I was an adjunct faculty at Florida International University, teaching human resource management, training and development, and compensation and benefits. So I had a little part of this world. And I'll tell you, with all of the experience that I have in education, if you ask me what is my favorite part of education, it will be the teaching that I have done. And if you were to pay me the same salary now, I would automatically go back to teaching because I think it is my first love.
Wow. So help us understand your leadership style. It will give me clarity in reference to why you love teaching so much.
People who work with me will tell you one thing. I always emphasize that when I work or when you work with me, that we work with a human being. It's not a number. It is a person who has feelings. It is a person who is not just tied to the institution where they work, but they also are tied to the family that they have at home. For example, if you bring somebody to work, someone just has had a baby, right? And they're back to work. Say the first day of work. Look, yes, you're here physically, but where is your mind? Your mind is at home. If you're here and your child is sick at home, yes, I have you here physically, but where is your mind? Your mind is at home. So I've been known on more than one occasion to have persons come to work and they say, you know, my child is sick, and I say, okay, well, why are you here? Because I have you physically, but the mind isn't here. Go take care of your family, and then you will come back. Now, when you do that, you buy the person has much greater confidence in working with you, because you don't just see them as an employee, but you see them as an employee who's a human being. Yes, that person has interest to the institution where they work. But more importantly, for them, their family is always number one. People will tell you at work, I have said, if somebody calls me and I'm at a meeting, say that I'm busy, I can't see you. But if my family calls me, you better get me on the phone, because family is always number one. Because at the end of the day, when everything else gives up, it is the family that you go back to. So I use that, and I use the fact that persons are a human being to decide how I manage. And the same thing goes with students. As the dean of students, my responsibility encompasses everything, all of our services at my campus that has to do with students. And I always said there's a difference between a person who's doing a job and a person who has the passion for the job. The person who's doing a job will look at, I'll clock in at 8 o'clock, and they will sit by the clock when it's 4:30 to clock out. The person who's living a passion will be there until the work is done. So that's the way that I function. That's what I believe, and I think I got that from my upbringing in Dominica, and I got that from my grandmother, who always taught us and who instilled in us that kind of behavior.
By the way, I'm getting a WhatsApp message, Nigel, from UD John, and he's saying, incidentally, the top student at CXCDC is Dr. Carbon's niece. Well, like we said that earlier, but we can say it again. I mean, she really excelled, and she has been excelling from a very tender age, along with her sister as well. Shireen Carbon, she has really, I think it's 12 ones and 2 twos.
12 ones and 2 twos, yes.
Yes. So that's a Carbon thing, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I have the level of intelligence that they have. I mean, I remember when we did CXC, I didn't get 5 ones. I didn't even get 3 ones.
Yeah, the kids these days is 10 and 11 and 12 and 14 ones, and you wonder how is that possible? Dr. Carbon, we were talking earlier with Miguel and of course Belinda and Devon as well, and we're trying to find, in terms of the Dominican population at Miami-Dade, is pretty small, and we were trying to find out ways in which we think that can be increased. So, for example, students back home right now at college who are thinking that, and maybe Devon and Belinda can weigh in as well, my next stage is, to move up to the US for college and so on and forth. Overall, just quickly in terms of a summary process, what would it take for them to be able to, either you or Miguel, everyone can answer it, take for them to be able to get to Miami-Dade College?
Okay, so a couple of years ago, I was one of the late night shows with Cecil, and after that, I gave my number, and a number of students reached out to me about the whole journey to education in the United States and Miami-Dade College. And my institution probably may have a little issue with me for saying so, but I always tell persons at the beginning, when you come to Miami-Dade College, you're doing an associate degree. That's how we begin. That's why we are college. We are associate degree, but we also offer a bachelor's degree. In Dominica, we have the state college that also offers associate's degree. And if people ask me for my honest advice as Andrew Carbon from Dominica, I'll always tell them your first option should be to go to the state college. And the reason why, most persons, if they come here, they will come here as an international student. And then let me put it in perspective when it comes to cost. A local student doing an English class, for example, and we talk in terms of units, some people call it credits, some people call it units, we call it credits. A free credit course for a person who lives in Florida and can prove that they live in Florida is $356. For an international student, that would be the Dominican student with no ties to the United States coming here to do an associate degree, that free credit course will cost $1,207, $1,207. So
say it again.
It's almost 4 times the amount.
It is 4 times the amount. So approximately, yeah. So a student from Dominica, a student here, a resident of Florida who can prove that they've been living in Florida, taking a free credit course, that would cost approximately $356. A student coming from Dominica as an international student and do that same course, it will cost $1,207. And why I'm saying so, that's why I'm saying, I'm advocating for the college in Dominica, and I will send the bill for them for doing so. But from a cost standpoint for the associate degree, you can do the associate degree in Dominica. Now, as Devon was saying, at Miami-Dade College, we have this really good history that when you come from credits from Dominica or the Caribbean islands, we give you credit for it. So, for example, students who, for example, take A-level classes, the A-level classes are converted to credit courses here. So, for example, if you did English at the A-level in Dominica, and you come to Miami-Dade College, you no longer have to repeat that course. We will give you credit for having taken that class. Now, when you're done with the AA, then the options are open. Then you can probably come to the United States, and we would be more than happy to welcome you at Miami-Dade College if it is a degree that we're offering. Yes, it will cost the same or a little more because now you're doing bachelor's level courses, but now you'll have to fund your education for 2 years as opposed to 4 years.
Very interesting.
But if you still insist that you want to come to Miami-Dade College, between Miguel, myself, Devon, and even Belinda, we all can help you with the transition process. I've had persons from Dominica who came to Miami-Dade College, and my colleagues know that if you meet a Dominican, you need to connect them with Miguel or you need to connect them with Andrew, because there's some support that we can give them. And as the Dean of Students, there's additional support that I can give. So we always like to link up with them. There's not many of us. I was just doing a little bit of research for the past 2 years and see how many students have Dominican students have graduated from Miami-Dade College, and that number is 12. So it's not many students. We have a number of us working. Miguel is in administration. I'm in administration. We have Dr. Ron Winston at our medical campus, who is also a Dean of Health Sciences. Right here in my office, right here working with me. She started like about a month ago. We have a Dominican working right here with me at the West Campus, right in my office. I know of a Dominican who's working at another office we call the Homestead Campus. So we're growing in numbers, because one of the things people know about us in Dominica, if there's one thing about us, we can work. But two, we always carry with us a smile. You just know. And I was listening to Thea Lafo-Gadsden, and congratulations. And when she was speaking about Dominica, that the special thing about us in Dominica is the people. And wherever we are, I can walk in a crowd and see a Dominican and know it's a Dominican.
So true, so true. Definitely, so true. Miguel, and in terms of the integration, Dominicans and Caribbean students, have we seen that integration, or do we feel lost when we're within the Caribbean population?
Yeah.
No, I believe we know who we are. Bouillon music, Belinda and her Palau. I mean, like, we know who we are. So, but before I touch on engagement, just a little scenario of, I know Dr. Carbon mentioned, or you mentioned, like, maybe a student wants to come to, study in the United States, and Miami-Dade may be an option. But I've observed, you have the Caribbean American dichotomy. You have, like Belinda did all the time here, but you do have, Dominicans born in the US and schooling in the Caribbean. I am so grateful for my schooling in the Caribbean at the St. Mary's Academy, because, we have a program here called the 5,000 Role Models of Excellence Project, focusing on helping males not drop out of high school. It, carries from, elementary, middle school all the way through high school, just to give them the mentors that they need. And I felt like St. Mary's Academy was that over a 5-year period. My friends to date, I mean, I just had 2 who visited me this week. They brought me tambourine balls. They brought me coconut cheese. They show up at my house. I mean, I feel like I'm still on the island. But you do have, like I said, students who transition. They're born here, raised on the island, and now they want to do the higher education thing, and they have that option.
Interesting.
What the challenge is, I often see, is the Florida residency part, where to get the in-state tuition, Dr. Carbon mentioned out-of-state or international students, you pay 4 times the amount. So whether you're an international or you could be a student, you could be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, and you lived in New York and you relocate to Florida. The Florida residency component sort of limits you from getting that benefit of the in-state tuition. So it's just something I think Caribbean Americans and Dominican Americans, you're right, anyone that has sort of those, I guess, that option, just to pay attention to that, because you would have to wait a year to be able to have the documentation, whether it's a voter registration or vehicle registration or declaration of domicile, right, showing that you reside in the state. So that's one of the challenges that I see, that if that option were to be explored, because you have that option, then pay attention to that.
Just to chime in there, Miguel, I believe also there's the option of somebody, a friend or family member who resides here, claiming you as a dependent, which allows you to pay instant tuition. There's something around that, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Carver.
Yeah, no. So you're kind of right. But even before I continue, right now I'm sitting in my office at work and I have to go home. And one of the things that I forgot to say is that my wife also works at Miami-Dade College.
And trust you to say
if you didn't say that, you couldn't go home.
Yes, and we do have a doghouse outside the office. So I just wanted to mention that. Yes, Devon. Yeah. So for the residency purposes, it's complicated. That was my life prior to becoming dean of students. I was the director of admissions and registration at the second largest campus at Miami-Dade College. Yes, a family member can claim you on your taxes, but for you to be considered as a dependent of that person, you have to live with that. The person have to claim you on their taxes for at least 3 years. So consider now you come in here this year as a student, you'd have 75% of your degree before you can.
Because you're an international
student. It even becomes more difficult because if you've taken classes for 1 semester without residency, now it becomes a reclassification. So now in our parlance, you don't need 2 more documents to prove residency. You have to get 3, which makes it a little more difficult. But I'll tell you that we've had students from Dominica who've come here as international students, and we've helped them navigate the system. When I came here, when I came to Miami-Dade College, I came as an international student. I didn't mention that. When I came here, I was an international student, and I will tell you, I had tuition for 1 year. All right, but here I am with a doctorate. Right? So there are ways that we can help. And that's why I always tell us, if you come here, link up with Miguel, link up with myself, because sometimes we will know of resources or we will have resources that we can help you, that you can help yourself.
I like that.
You come to Miami-Dade College, and not just Miami-Dade College. I know persons who come to other universities in Florida, and they just happen to find out about us and they reach out to us. And there's useful tips that we can give them as they navigate the for example, they're entitled to on-campus employment. I remember a couple of years ago when I used to be director of admissions, we had this person on campus, and I just found out about her by mistake. Somebody called me and said, "Oh, you know what? We have a person from Dominica here who's having some difficulty." I said, "Why didn't I know about that?" And then they brought the person to us. I was not able to just help the person navigate the complexities that they were going through. But in addition to that, I was able to hire the person within my department that as an international student, and they were able to gain valuable resources that they can. Currently, that person's already completed a master's degree.
Interesting.
I love that.
I like that. I also wanted to ask though, Dr. Carbon, how much importance is placed on diversity and multicultural awareness at the college? I mean, I ask this because, of course, it is a fact that society has become increasingly diverse. So should education incorporate culturally responsive instruction, even at the college level?
So I'll tell you, at Miami-Dade College, I can say without fear of contradiction that we're very good at integrating all cultures. But we have 8 campuses, and the 8 campuses are different. For example, the campus that I work at is in Doral in South Florida, in the western part of Florida, mainly Venezuelan, Colombian students. Our student population is 97% Hispanic. But if you go to the North Campus, for example, the North Campus, that's where you would find a whole lot more. It's a nicer mix. But as Miguel will tell you, because Miguel is so much more involved in those things, we have Haitian American Day. We have Miguel has the tropical beat that he mentioned, where there's programming. So the culture, and I'll tell you here, we place a whole lot of focus on just getting the cultures together, just learning from each other. For example, on this campus last year, we hosted the first Afro Food and Dance Festival, where we get Caribbean type of food, Caribbean and African type of food and dance and dress, and bring in, so that, yes, while we are a campus with 97% Hispanic, but we were able to showcase our cultural heritage from the African diaspora, from the Caribbean diaspora, so that we get a better understanding. And even if you look when you look at the administration of the college, for example, our college president is Cuban, but our executive vice president and provost is Jamaican Guyanese. So even from the top, we have the diversity, and we do celebrate each other's culture. And if you listen to my president, and like I said, my provost, you will always hear them talking about how important it is to have that kind of diversity, because we learn from each other.
Wow, interesting. And I just want to stay on this a little and ask Miguel, because Miguel, you're hearing, right?
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you, because you put it nicely on your recent Facebook post about the program. So, and our thanks, by the way, for what you said about connecting the dots, keeping the diaspora engaged. Give us your take, though, Miguel, on the sustenance of cultural links.
Yeah. So Belinda is a direct example. Being connected to her culture, representing 1,000 students in her program, and many more thousands in scholarship programs, and really in the 100,000 plus students that we have, she's our student representative, right? Just preserving and enlightening her peers, and that may be from the Caribbean or Dominica or not, about the culture. But in my capacity as and it's a recent one, right? My title, Student Engagement and Community Partnerships. One of the things that I focus on is really, identifying students from within our, ecosystem, from all of our campuses, different majors, different programs, that can be the best representative for the institution, themselves, their community. Belinda resides in North Miami. She's represented North Miami. And Dr. Carbon mentioned our provost. I mean, it starts from the top. Being in leadership, it's important to me to ensure that students, whether you're from Dominica, Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad, for sometimes spent some time in Tortola, the British Virgin Islands, St. Kitts, Anguilla, I think, and through the Florida Caribbean Students Association, we do our best to connect Caribbean students across the board, but not only Caribbean students, all right? We have students from other parts of the world that are here in Miami. We're a big melting pot. So from the student engagement lens, it's knowing who our students are, who's in our community, who's there, and not having such a guard, right, about interfacing, and I think it's more about coexisting. And the more that we can learn from each other, the more that we learn that, we're more alike, right? In that sense. But
give us your take on this as well, Belinda. Give us your take on this in terms of sustaining the cultural links. How crucial is this, especially at the college level?
It's very important, because I feel like Miguel said, Miami-Dade is a big melting pot. We don't only have people from the Caribbean, we have people from Europe, we have people from Asia. So to maintain that, and we both learn each other's culture, is very crucial and very vital to maintain the culture link.
Interesting.
And Devon, in terms of you can also weigh in on that. But I also know that based on the information that we had, you have this company or this idea for sneaky sneakers. So you can probably tell us about that as well. How did that come about, and how do you see it, in some way keeping that same cultural connection?
Yes, it's just to touch piggyback of what they said with regards to Miami being a big melting pot. I think that's one of the key or crucial things that anybody from Dominica who wants to come here to study needs to look into is the diversity of wherever it is the institution that they plan to attend, what that area, that location is. America is very different in every part, every city, every country. We're in Miami, which Miami and New York are probably the two most diverse places in the country. But you drive 4 hours north of here, and it is a completely different ballgame. And there are great institutions, universities in those places. So, you know, it would be very wise to do the research and the groundwork into what does it look like on the ground when you actually get to these universities or the communities, to the local areas. A lot of this information is available online if you're able to look in the right places. Most of the demographics of every city, every country, every college and university is public knowledge. So the US does a great job at tracking statistics and type when it comes to specifically the type of peoples and that sort of thing. So when it comes to the US, you're interested in a few different schools, definitely look at the local community. If you happen to know anybody who is close to that area, that is your best option, you know, to discuss, you know, what would it be like? What experience am I looking at if I were to attend this institution? And if you have the resources to, by all means, take a discovery trip, come to Miami, go to whatever institution it is, spend a weekend, go to the campuses would be happy to give you a tour. You could engage with students, with professors, and you get to see for yourself. This is something that you could, you know, sink your teeth into. So yeah, definitely so. Miami, organically is such a diverse place already, right? You know, this city is, like I said, one of the biggest melting pots in the country. So while Dominicans don't have a big footprint here, the Caribbean itself does, and the cultural alignment. I tell people who come here that Miami is the Caribbean in America. I could go to the store. There's maybe 5 stores around my house. I could go and get fig and dashing and ripe plantain, and all these things are there that you could. So it's like you almost don't feel like you're out of Dominica when it comes to a lot of things, which is sometimes the hardest thing for the transition of someone coming from home to the US is you don't have the foods, you don't have the restaurants, you don't have the people, the music. On a Friday night, I have my pick of maybe 20 different Caribbean parties I could go to. You know, like, and those things at first might seem a bit shallow or small, but they're a big, very big factor when you're 6 months, 2 years into going to school, studying every day, working hard, and you just need a little nostalgia, a little taste of your culture, maybe just lunch. You know, those things go very, very far. So do your research, in short.
Yes, tell us a little bit about Sneakers.
Yeah, so company name is Sneaky Clean. We are a laundry. First, we started as a laundry service for sneakers, where people could drop how you do your regular laundry, where you could dry cleaning, you could drop it off to our store, get it clean. We then developed into a mobile app, where in our app we have an integration with DoorDash and Uber, which handles the logistics of transporting between the customer's house and our store for those who don't want to come to the store. And then we branched out into franchising. Our first store was in Miami. Then we opened a store in Zurich, Switzerland in 2022, sorry. And then last year we opened a second store in Saskatoon, Canada, with a Dominican being the franchisee. Actually, a friend of mine I grew up with. His name is Gaurav Daru from Pidit 7, becoming the franchisee in Canada. So definitely a lot of Dominican conversations happening when we have meetings. You know, we often get caught up just being nostalgic about, you know, memories and experiences from back home before we even get to business. The idea happened. I used to own, like I said, I've been an entrepreneur for about 10 years. I used to own a restaurant. I love my sneakers like most Dominicans do. But they would get dirty, they would get messed up all the time. So I kept having to buy new ones to replace them. Which I didn't think was sustainable. Kept trying to find a solution of someone or a service that could clean them. It did not exist. So when I exited the restaurant industry, I figured, why not give this a try, you know? And yeah, like they say, the rest is history. We're here now, we're growing, and we're just trying to bring it to the masses. Hopefully we'll have a store in Roseville soon.
What is the contact information? One of the things we like to do on connecting, because when we have those opportunities, we like people to know about it, right? And that's how we connect with our people. So what's the contact information for those who want to utilize the company or utilize your services?
Yeah, of course. They could check us out. Instagram is our main channel at Sneaky, SNEAKKY, and clean spelled KLEAN. So that's at Sneaky Clean, SNEAKKY, KLEAN, or www.sneaky.com. Again, that's SNEAKKY.com. And I'm sure with the announcement, Miguel had input some of that in the bio if you want to get the company.
Yes, and Miguel, you can also drop it in the chat as well.
Yes.
Because we have the Facebook and YouTube is really going crazy. It always does that. So any information you want, just drop it in there now, so it remains there. Because a lot of people go back and listen to the program, and they'll get that information now. So you can also put that in there. I wanted to ask you guys, though, as we, because time always just flies by. But I wanted to ask you, Dr. Carbon, in terms of we had a discussion, very quick discussion earlier on, and the fact that students want to go back to school whenever it's summer, back to school, and the whole thing of social media and gadgets and everything else. Although it's higher ed, do you see that same situation in higher ed, especially if some students didn't want to take any summer classes? Semester is done, you're done with that. I'll see you in fall. Do you find, and if you do, any suggestions that you may have on how we can keep that connection going throughout?
So the person who can come up with the formula make students always want to go back to school, that would be an instant millionaire.
They should probably contact Devon for a business idea, right?
Yeah, but
maybe you can develop an app that takes you there.
Yeah, but generally, I think students don't want to go back to school, and it's okay. Rewind and think of yourself. Nigel, you went to Dominica for vacation,
right?
How good is the feeling when you think that tomorrow I'm going to go back to the US? You probably don't want to do it.
Yeah, I want to change my flight right away.
Exactly, because it is not like you don't want to go back to the US. It is just that you're enjoying the current experience. And I think for some students, that's it. They just came from vacation and they got so accustomed to having to wake up at 10 o'clock because that's what the young people do these days. So they say, oh my God, I have to go back to school tomorrow. But I'll tell you, there may be the reluctance. But from my experience, and especially what I have seen here on my campus, but after 1 week, you find that the students are ready to go back to school. I'll tell you one of the things that we've seen, for example, from a Miami-Dade College standpoint on our enrollment. For a long time, our enrollment is significantly up this semester because we're finding that so many more high school students are willing to go back to college. For example, on my small campus, my enrollment is up like by 11.4%. All right. The last time we were at the current enrollment that we have was in 2018, 2019. So I think something is happening now because look, the great equalizer for students is education. No, and I always tell persons, education promises you nothing. What education does, when the opportunity arises, it means you can stand and be in line. That's one of the things that education do for you. I mean, of course, in addition, you gain both from a personal standpoint and from a professional standpoint. But that's what education does. It gives you the opportunity to be available and to stand when an opportunity presents itself. So that's why it is, of course, very, very important. But you still find there are some students who just for some reason want to take a break from going back to school because they say, oh, I am tired. And sometimes I am old school. Sometimes when you listen to the kids, when we were growing up, did we have an option of going to school? Absolutely not. You have to go to school. But these days, young persons can decide, no, I'm taking a break from college. That was not They do want to go back. Now, even before, because I know time is short, one of the things I was thinking of also, just being an administrator at Miami-Dade College, is I was thinking of like partnerships with like the Dominican State College.
Great.
For them to remain here. But at Miami-Dade College, one of the things that we've been known for in Florida is our AI programs artificial intelligence, and our cybersecurity program. Our cybersecurity program, I think we're the only bachelor's degree in all of Florida, and that has been recognized by the National Security Agency as a very good program. Now, like I said, I probably don't want to transplant students from Dominica to do the AA, but so maybe there may be some opportunities for collaboration where we can offer them while in Dominica, probably to come for 1 semester here at Miami-Dade College, do some program, maybe get a certificate and go back to Miami-Dade, go back to Dominica and finish the program.
Like that.
That would be.
But as you're on that, Dr. Campbell, you just kind of hit me, just get very quickly. Do you see that, and you, Miguel, and everybody else, I mean, the vision somewhere later on in the future, where we can have that collaboration in such a way that Dominicans can remain at home, or Caribbean people can remain at home, but be able to do the couple of semesters or couple of credits or whatever it is, utilizing the technology that we have. We don't necessarily have to come here. They can pay a reduced fee, whatever it is, but the lectures can be done from here. We have the technology, we can have that. Do you foresee that at some point we can have that level of collaboration where we can stay home but attend Miami-Dade College?
Technology has made the world so much smaller. Now, some of the limitations, say, for example, from an institution like Miami-Dade College, we have to be accredited by some accredited agency. In that case, we have what we call SACS. And for us to offer a credential, at least what percentage? We can 25% of the program must be taken at Miami-Dade College. All right? On campus, or well, at campus, or if we do something like MDC Live where the courses are based here. But I'll tell you, yes, that can happen, because I will tell you, Miguel alluded to when we spoke originally about out of state and the cost, even for a person from Georgia coming to Miami-Dade College. And there is already some breakthrough, at least in the United States, where persons outside of Miami-Dade College or outside of Florida can already take courses at certain institutions within Florida, and Miami-Dade College is one of them, where they will not pay the in-state tuition, neither the out-of-state tuition, but there is a medium, there's a benefit of a lower cost in between. So that is beginning to happen within the United States. I can guarantee you. So it means that anybody from Alaska, you can take classes now at Miami-Dade College online and pay the reduced rate. As we develop and become so much more professional in this, I can guarantee you, I see those kind of partnerships happening with the Caribbean. When I used to be at FIU had a master's in human resource management, and part of their program, they had a program in Jamaica where a faculty member from FIU would go to Jamaica every Saturday. So that is coming, and I think it is even closer.
Good news. Great. Great. Nigel, I'm looking at the time already. I mean, there's so many things that we can still cover.
Almost feels like we have to have a part 2 of this with our guests. Yes, Miguel.
Yeah, no, to Dr. Carbon's point, I think with the right discussions, the right partnerships, MOUs, memorandums of understanding, yes. We can move to that, but I think we could start with what we can do. For example, I'm in a discussion with a colleague at one of the local high schools in Dominica to even just start meeting virtually, like a meet and greet. I know back in the day we had pen pals, but to get a group of students here to connect with virtually with a group of students on the other side. And it could be a faculty to faculty exchange, whether it's, from high school to high school, from college to college, from the university.
I love that.
We can definitely begin what we're doing here, right? On Zoom, it creates the ability to not fly a whole day, right? To get to the island and such. And, for me, given the fact that we do have these technologies, I do think we need to leverage it more for the betterment of our connections here in the South Florida community. And I was sharing with Belinda, and in Dominica and all the other Caribbean islands where Dominicans are, and worldwide.
I like that.
Belinda, for Belinda and Devon, for Belinda and Devon, do you see yourself in terms of that same collaboration in a mentorship role? Whether it means being able to go to Dominica for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or some online connection with students can connect with you as well from here. Do you see that as a possibility?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Belinda. No, you're first.
Yes, I see that as a possibility where I can mentor students from Dominica, help them navigate Miami-Dade, if personally, like physically or virtually, I can help them. Like if they need questions with their classes, what classes to take, yeah, I can definitely be a mentor.
Like that. I like that. Nigel, I see we don't have much time, but I still want to stay on Belinda. And I wanted to sort of encourage young people who are not sure what they want to do, not sure if they should go, seek an employment or continue education. Let us get advice from you for these young people. How important education is.
Yes.
Oh.
How important?
Yes, Belinda.
Yes.
Oh, it's very important because especially in this economy, you need education to for like job opportunities, because a lot of job opportunities ask for your education and your experience too. So I feel like education is very, very crucial, very, very vital. It's yeah, I feel like for the advice for the young people, Dominica and in the United States, to pursue your education, do not wait. Like if you get out of high school, I feel like just go straight into college, pursue your education, get your associate, get your bachelor's, get your master's. It's very, very, very important to get your education because all the opportunities will be open.
Yeah, I like that. Good advice, Nigel. I mean, the time has come. The time has gone already. I really wish we had some more time.
Well, we'll have to have a part two. That's a given.
Maybe before we go, guys.
Yes.
Before we go, I wanted to say back to the topic about online access to education for people in Dominica. There's this company called edX. It's edx.org, I believe.
ED, okay.
edx.org, where they offer a lot of free online courses. It's not a complete course, but if you want to pay for the complete credit course, it's only about $500, no matter where in the world you reside. And it's not an accredited institution yet, but these are the actual courses taught at the different major universities throughout the US, where their mission is to make education accessible and free. So these professors who work with them provide their courses on these platforms, and anything from information technology down to the sciences. Obviously, the sciences can't get practical, but it's free for anyone who wants to get on there. So definitely a valuable resource.
Excellent,
right.
excellent.
Well, Nigel, we have run out of time already.
Time is against us. So Devon,
yes, it is.
You've been one of those that's been able to, say, sort of a way, marry education with reality and entrepreneurship and being an entrepreneur. So as you wrap up, final thoughts on how we can move education outside of the classroom to what you're doing right now?
Outside of the class, I mean, entrepreneurship, I always say something you have to be passionate about. It's not for the faint of heart. This is something where I often say it's a bit of insanity. You have to be crazy to wake up to work every day at something and not really get results for a very long period of time before it actually converts over. But it's putting in the sacrifices today for very long-term gains in the future on a bigger scale. I feel like Dominica is one of the most entrepreneurial places I know. Like, I grew up with everybody I know, even if they had a job, they did something on the side. And people probably often think entrepreneurship is complicated or you have to have a big business. But it's as simple as having a garden that you go to on Saturdays and selling a hand of bananas or some produce to your neighbor. That's entrepreneurship. So with the current, the economic climate in Dominica, a lot of people have been entrepreneurial. I just encourage Dominicans to keep doing that, keep being innovative in their entrepreneurial ventures. Entrepreneurship is not something that has to be given to you, something you have to go out there and get it every day. So, stay focused, stay motivated. There is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay, a few seconds from you, Dr. Carbon, as we end. What do you think about the program, Connecting the Dots?
Oh no, the program is excellent. I look at the program every Saturday. So I'm very aware of it. That's why I shout out Alvin early, because I know Alvin was going to be on. I know I didn't see Kofi because I know Kofi is another person who's, because Kofi is actually my classmate. We went to school together. So I think it's an excellent program, and I'm certain I can speak. Well, I'm going to take the liberty and speaking for Miguel, Devon, and Belinda. If we have to do a part 2, I am certain. I'm the most difficult person to do interviews because I always believe what I have to be done is behind the scenes. But I am available for that.
We like you on. We like you on as well, Papa. We like you on.
Yeah, I'm available for that. It's not like I can do it.
All right.
And there's so many other ways that Dominica can benefit from what we do at Miami-Dade College. There's something that we call the prior learning assessment, where things that you've done, we can convert them to credit for you, and it will give you credit for them, which saves you money in completing your degree and accelerates your completion. So there are so many other things that we can talk about, and we'll be more than happy to talk about some programs. So thank you so very much for having us. Thank you to all my people from Boudica. I'll never forget this. Like I said, we're big, we're small but mighty, and thank you for having us here today. I know I was looking at the chat and all my family members are here. I don't know how they find out because I didn't tell many of them, but thank you for this opportunity.
Appreciate it. We thank all of you. Thank you, former students of the Dominican Grammar School.
And SMA.
Yes. We'll do it again some other time. All the best to you. Nigel, we really have to run.
Yes, we connect again though.
I'm still on vacation, so I'm not in the studio. So it's kind of different.
Vacation, so
we have to run. Yes.
But yeah,
so all the best.
We'll connect again because we have so much more we could talk about. But thanks, guys. Appreciate the connection as always.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Take care.
No, thank you.
Take care. We'll do it again next week, God willing.
We do it.
Bye, Nigel. All right.
Bye.